Then the dog took my shoe. Oh, hey, fourth graders. Wow, we miss you so much. As you know, it's Writing Wednesday, and I hope you're taking this time to journal. We have talked all year about points of view, authors' points of view. Now is the time to give your point of view, guys. Points of view like what we're reading about in historical events and social studies. We've been doing that all year, not just in social studies, but definitely in our reading classes. Now it's your time. This could be a huge historical event. Right now it's a current event, but it could be in our history books. And who knows, your journal writing could be what our children read about, your children read about later on. You can add pictures, you can make cartoons, you could even create a slideshow in your Google Slides. The possibilities are endless, and I can't wait to hear about the journal writing that you're doing.
Hey everyone, it's your friendly neighborhood teacher, Mr. Valencia, and today I wanted to remind you guys about theme. Remember, theme in story is the message. It's what the characters learn from the adventure that they go on in the story. So remember, when you are reading, ask yourself questions like, what does the character learn? What do the characters do or say that help me figure out what they have learned from their adventure? So make sure you guys are asking yourself those questions. Have a good one.
Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Cooper from Fairview Elementary School. Quick shout out to my fourth graders. I miss all of you. I want to encourage you to not only read every day, but spend some time writing every day as well. You could think about the fiction story that you're reading and maybe rewrite the story in a different setting or from a different point of view than the main character. You could also think of an alternate ending to the story. If you're reading nonfiction, you can take those facts and details that you learned in the passage, and you could write a comic strip based on those facts and details, or maybe write even a fiction or a fantasy story with those facts and details included. So, happy reading and happy writing.
Good afternoon, Williamson County families. This is Mrs. Denton, fourth grade teacher at Clovercroft Elementary, and I just have a quick tip for you for some of you who might find yourself with a reluctant reader at home. Find a book that was later turned into a movie. My favorites are Jumanji, Holes, and Because of Winn-Dixie. It's really fun to read the book together and then watch the movie together. Have a great afternoon.
Hey fourth graders, this is Mrs. Holt. Mrs. Moore and I want to remind you of how important it is for you to keep reading. Try to make connections as you read. Ask yourself questions like, what do I have in common with this character? Or has this situation ever happened to me before? Share your responses in a reading journal.
Hey College Grove Rockets, here is a fourth grade reading tip for you all. When you come across a word while you're reading that you don't know what it means, make sure to use your context clues, such as synonyms or antonyms, an example, or a definition clue. And those will help you come up with the meaning of your words.
Hey fourth grade, this is Miss Amos from Creekside Elementary, and I've got a reading challenge for you today. So whenever you're doing your independent reading at home, I want you to think about maybe a creative place to read, maybe somewhere that's unusual that you normally wouldn't read. So let's think of some places where that might be. In my house, that could be in the bathtub, with a pet, in the backyard, upside down. Think about all the different ways that you can read at your house. Have fun, and remember, the more you read, the smarter you get.
Hey Explorers, it's Miss Gunter from Edmondson Elementary. We have been learning about explanatory writing. I would like you to read a nonfiction text, any text that you would like to read, and then I would like you to write an essay explaining the topic you just read about. Remember, introduction, 2 body paragraphs, and a conclusion paragraph. Good luck, and remember those transition words.
Hi Huntersman 4th graders, this is Miss Williams. This week I want you to read. Don't forget to use context clues while reading to understand unknown vocabulary. If you're writing, try writing a continuation of the story or book you're on. Don't forget to use correct capitalization and punctuation.
Hey Williamson County, this is Mrs. LaPresse from Heritage Elementary. I want to give a big shout out to all of our 4th grade Eagles and let you guys know that we miss you so much and we hope that you're reading 20 minutes every day. As you're reading, think about theme, that big idea that the author wants you to connect to when you're reading. Does your main character have a words of the wiser moment or an aha moment? Do you see ideas like courage, honesty, or family coming up again and again? If so, you might have found clues to the theme or the big idea that the author is challenging you to think about. Happy reading!
Hey fourth graders, it's Mrs. Hawks from Hillsborough Elementary School. I want to give a shout out to my classes. I miss you so much. Here's something that you can try while you're reading this week. Any fiction book that you're reading, I want you to stop and try to find the point of view. Remember, first person is me, second person is you, third person is he, third person is she. Everybody wants to know my POV. And then next, try to see what is that narrator thinking or feeling at this moment. And that's going to lead you to the point of view.
Hi Jordan Jets, this is Miss Sanderson here from 4th grade. I'm here with Emma today and we just finished reading the book Corduroy with one another. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of this book before. Emma really enjoys reading this book because Corduroy looks a lot like our dog Teddy, so she thinks that's pretty humorous as we're reading. So our challenge for you guys today is to find a book that you enjoy reading, find a friend or a family member, it can be even a pet, and read that book with that person or that pet. And together, I want you to kind of think about some questions that you may have after reading the book. Think about some connections you may have with other things you've read before. And then I want you to try to challenge someone else that you know to read a good book.
Hi, 4th grade. It's Miss Glenn here. I hope you guys are doing well. We miss seeing you every day. But while we're apart from each other, I wanted to remind you guys about one word and one skill that we talked about in ELA this year. And that was the word theme. Remember, the theme is the lesson or the moral of the story that a character learns. So my challenge for you this week is to try to pick up a fictional book. It can be realistic fiction, historical fiction, really any story with characters, and I want you to think about what lesson did the character learn in that story. Oftentimes when characters are learning lessons, you, the reader, are also learning that same lesson or being reminded of that lesson. So I want you to pick up any book that you've been reading that is fictional with characters, and I want you to think this week, what is the main theme of this story? And what lesson did I learn from reading this story?
Ms. Bice here from Longview to bring you some reading tips. Before you read, make predictions. What do you think the story is going to be about? What genre could it be? How do you know? While you read, ask those questions. I wonder how. How could this happen? Why? Make inferences, taking your background knowledge and the clues to infer or assume what's happening. Visualize. Those pictures that are going off in your head, that's visualizing. Authors use their wording for a reason. Look for those adjectives. That's really going to help with comprehension. After you read, identify the main idea. What is it mostly about? That is not a theme or a summary, so be careful. And lastly, summarize. Tell someone what happened in your story. I challenge you to find someone in your house to tell a summary to.
Hey Chargers, it's Miss Swigert. I want to give a shout out to all of our fantastic 4th graders. We miss you guys. Don't forget, when you're reading your Just Right book, you can use the Notice and Note signposts. They can help you better understand the characters and what's happening in the story.
Hey 4th graders, it's Mrs. Stingle from Knowlesville Elementary, and I wanted to share a great idea to make reading fun for the entire family. Why not do book study? Find a book you've always wanted to read, enjoy it together. Or maybe your parents have a great book of something they read when they were your age that they'd love to share with you. Regardless, it's just fun reading together, talking about characters, predicting what's happening next. You could even teach your parents about the 6 common signposts often found in books. Let them make the connections of memory moments and predicting what's coming next, as well as again and again what seems to be happening. So much fun you can have with books. So I got to get back to my book study with my fam, and you enjoy yours. Happy reading.
Hello boys and girls, this is Mrs. Mullins from Oakview Elementary School where I teach 4th grade. I know you guys are picking up some great books right now, and so I thought I'd give you some tips on how to make that reading really meaningful for you. Number 1, make sure that you find a quiet spot to read that's free from distractions. Number 2, make sure your eyes are on your words the whole time and that you stay in one spot. And most importantly, make sure you're thinking about what you're reading. My students like to get a sticky note and jot down some thoughts that they have while they're reading, and that makes their reading a lot more meaningful.
Hi boys and girls, it's Miss Barnhill from Perry Creek. I'd like to give a huge shout out to our fabulous fourth graders. I want you to continue to read, but this week, try reading a book about your favorite place to visit or go on vacation, and then write a story about that place. Remember to indent your paragraphs, use complete sentences, and correct capitalization and punctuation. I know there are a lot of creative brains out there, so kiss those brains, get those creative juices flowing, and have fun.
Hi Thunder, it's Miss Naven. I hope you're all happy and healthy and finding some great time to read during our time at home. One of the things that we always look for when we're researching a topic is a primary source, a primary resource. So I thought, we're living history right now. What a great opportunity to create your own primary resource. You could do it in the form of a journal, or I thought it might be really kind of fun to do it in the form of a time capsule. You could put photos of things that you're doing during this time, a journal of your days, newspaper clippings, maybe an All About Me page telling everybody about who you are in this moment in time. How are you feeling about things? How are your parents feeling? How are your brothers and sisters feeling? You could interview them.
Hi, this is Mrs. Salkind, 4th grade ELA teacher at Bethesda Elementary, with a reading tip for you. Encourage your child to read aloud to your family pet. If you don't have a family pet, then they can FaceTime with a family that does. Your child's reading confidence and fluency will soar. Stay healthy, families.
Hi, Williamson County readers. This is Mrs. Sprinkle from Chapman's Retreat Elementary. Our 4th grade team just wanted to share some reading tips with you while we're home with our families. Make sure that you are reading each and every day, and don't be scared to try a new genre. There's so many wonderful books out there. Pick up one that you haven't tried before. Maybe read a mystery, read science fiction. As you're reading these books at home, read to a parent, read to your pet. Just curl up with a good book and just try something new. Don't forget to ask questions as you're reading and summarize what you've read. Always think about what you're reading so that you can build that comprehension. We hope that you found some great books to read while you're at home and can't wait to hear all the books that you've chosen.
Hi WCS students, this is Ms. Willis, Sunset 4th grade. I want to remind you as you're doing your reading at home, make sure you're reading from a variety of genres, both fiction and nonfiction.
Hey, it's Miss Blood from Trinity Elementary. I just wanted to say hi to my classes and that I miss you. I also wanted to give you a tip when it comes to reading. When you finish your book, don't just think, okay, I'm done. I would challenge you to make a prediction. What do you think is going to happen next? Then, does your book have a sequel? Read it and find if your prediction was correct or not. Or, if it doesn't have a sequel, maybe you could take the time and write your own. Or, think about, can you write the story from a different perspective? What would another character say? There are so many things that you can do when it comes to finishing a book, and it doesn't have to be just close it.
Hey 4th graders, it's Miss Gresham. I'm making my online grocery list for this week, and Oreo sounded good. What should Oreos remind us of? That's right, opinion writing. What's the O stand for? That's when you state your opinion. The R is your reasons, E is for examples and evidence, and O is restating that opinion again. I hope you guys can read some texts and come up with your own opinions to write about. It could be short, a paragraph, or it can be long. Challenge yourself and try to have fun while you're home. Stay safe and healthy.
Hi 4th grade, it's Miss Alberson here from Westwood Elementary School. I want to give a big shout out to our Westwood Tigers. Woohoo! I hope that you're enjoying this beautiful day, and I hope that you're reading a great book. Today's challenge while you're reading, I want you to think about the plot of the story. Remember Plot Mountain? Plot Mountain begins with the introduction, your characters and setting. Rising action, that big problem. Climax, your big moment and turning point. Falling action, your solution. And then closing everything up with your conclusion and theme. Try to create a Plot Mountain today. Think about the plot, sequence of main events. I encourage you to think about that while you're reading a great book. And remember, wash your hands. And I miss you so much. Can't wait to see you soon.
Hello 4th graders! It's the fabulous Mrs. Jennings from Grassland Elementary School. One of my very favorite things to do is to read, because when you pick up a good book, reading automatically transports you to a new place, a new time. You get to have a new grand adventure.
All you have to do is use the key details from the story with your own imagination to visualize and put yourself in that story. You can become a character in the story. You can use the sights, the sounds, the feelings, the emotions with the pictures that you create in your mind to take you on that new adventure.